Hello class, this is AP Human Geography. Today we'll be learning about three topics of AP Human Geography. Starting off, we can talk about languages. So languages are divided into separate categories. What is a language? A language is how we communicate, how we interact with each other, through the use of words, either through writing them, speaking them, hearing them, so on and so forth. It is how humans primarily communicate, from sign language to spoken language. Now, in terms of spoken languages, these languages are divided into several categories, starting with the largest category being that of language families. Now, language families are the largest branch of languages. They basically divide related languages into each other. Take, for example, the Indo-European language family or the Sino-Tibetan language family, which consists of, let's say, Mandarin, Cantonese, which can be said as the same language family. Or you can look at the Indo-European languages with English, Russian, and even Hindi as being a part of the same language family in which they are related in some form of way. And in that way, I meant their origins and most of their words, so on and so forth, how they are structured. Now, these language families can be divided into language groups, and now they can be divided into language branches, such as take for example Germanic languages and Romance languages being different from each other, and then they can be by themselves divided into language groups, which are then divided into languages like English and German. But then these languages can be divided into dialects. Now, I bet we all know that all languages are different. We won't understand every language through the use of other languages. Now, some of these languages are related, however, some of these other languages are not. However, in every language, in every major language at least, they can be divided into dialects. Dialects are, well, I don't think it's in like every language, but dialects are basically a division of that language. They are not separate languages, but they are different ways in using that language. Like take for example, one dialect may have a word that sounds different from the same language but in another dialect, or a completely new word order. Now, that is basically dialects, and a dialect is divided into isoglosses, which are basically borders between different dialects, which we can see from certain maps. Like if you look at a map of the United Kingdom of England, which primarily has English speakers, we could look at a division of a dialect between, let's say, London and or Bedfordshire, Manchester. Now, all of these are languages, correct? We know that these are languages. We know that they're spoken. We know that. Well, apart from the division of the languages that I stated earlier, there's also language isolates, and isolate languages are basically languages that aren't a part of any major language family. Take for example the Basque in the Basque language in Iberia and in France. Now, one more important concept about languages is how they change, how they form, and languages that change over time. You see, through cultural diffusion, several ways like relocation diffusion, expansion diffusion, like through ways such as those, new languages are formed. Take, for example, Nigerian Pidgin. Now, Nigerian Pidgin has the word pigeon in it. What does pigeon mean? Well, pigeon is basically a form of language used for two separate groups who do not know each other's languages to somehow somewhat combine their languages to make a new language in order for them to interact. Say Nigerian Pidgin, which is a part of, let's say, acculturation, a part of adding both languages to make a new one. Apart from that, there's also Creole languages, which can be formed in several ways of diffusion, like relocation diffusion uh, and stimulus diffusion, which basically Creole languages through creolization are basically the languages spoken by that are a mix of two or more languages from complete separate entities, separate other languages. Like, take for example, Haitian Creole, which is a Creole language of languages in Africa, languages in the local region before colonization, and French, which combine to make the Haitian Creole. Now, those are important concepts in geography in terms of languages. We can see how languages are different from each other. We can see how languages are divided. We can look at creoles, at pidgin languages. There are so many different ways for languages, and languages are like an interesting topic, and it doesn't have to just be in geography. It's also a topic in itself, as in linguistics, and you can also look at psycholinguistics. Either way, I digress. That's it. Yeah, important concepts in human geography. Thank you, class. Yeah, AP Human Geography.